Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's virtual health lesson on sleep, why it's vital to heart and brain health. My name is Irlanda Lopez. I am a community impact manager at the American Heart Association in Los Angeles. I am excited to be hosting this live virtual health lesson. I'd like to thank Providence for supporting our work to improve blood pressure control and overall health in Southern California. Heart disease, high blood pressure, stroke, and obesity are serious diseases that can have serious consequences for our health. Heart disease continues to be the #1 cause of death in the United States, and stroke-related complications are the #1 cause of long-term disability. We appreciate you attending today and taking time to prioritize your health today. A couple of housekeeping notes. Because we are in a Zoom webinar, your line is muted and your camera is disabled. We will be using the chat feature as well as the Zoom poll function to interact with one another. So please feel free to type your questions and comments into the chat. I see that some of you have already typed into the chat. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Today's presentation is for educational purposes only. We do not offer medical advice. We can provide resources, specific questions on a diagnosis, treatment, or anything directed medically should be directed to a doctor. So if there's any questions asked in the chat that are specific medical nature, we will have a qualified medical professional follow up with you to answer them. You can also visit www.heart.org for tools, resources, information about how to stay healthy during this time. We're going to have a pulse check time. We want to learn more about your knowledge on today's topic. We're going to start by taking 2 poll questions now and another poll near the end of the class. So let's get started. I will pull it up one instant. So the first poll question is, most adults need 6 to 8 hours of sleep each night. True or false? We have about 70% participation. Thank you to everyone that answered. We will let you know the correct answer shortly. Now let's get to the second poll question. In the last month, on average, how often have you been getting 6 to 8 hours of sleep per week? You have about 64%, 85% participation. Great. Thank you to everyone who answered. We will share the results shortly. So today we'll talk about sleep and heart health. So 1 in 3 adults don't get enough sleep, and getting enough sleep, 7 to 9 for adults, and restful sleep is essential to good heart health. So sleep is when important processing, restoration, and strengthening occur throughout your immune, nervous, skeletal, and muscular systems. It promotes healing and repairing of your stronger immune system. So these factors are why sleep is important. So how does sleep affect your health? Poor sleep may put you at risk for contributors to risk factors for cardiovascular health, such as obesity, inflammation, and stress. How does it affect your health? Again, It can cause accidents, breathing problems, hormone imbalance, memory and cognitive issues, unhealthy eating, stress, and weight gain. So let's discuss a little bit about the common sleep disorders. So there is more than 80 different sleep disorders that have been identified, but these three are the most common. So for example, it's insomnia, narcolepsy, and sleep apnea. So research has shown that they may increase the risk of cardiovascular disease and hurt your heart health. So let's discuss sleep apnea. So sleep apnea is when you can't breathe normally during your sleep. The stop and start breathing makes it harder to get enough oxygen and disturbs your sleeping pattern. So let's discuss some of those symptoms. They may include morning headaches, anxiety, depression, loud snoring, gasping, problems with concentration and memory. You may see changes in your mood, your behavior. You start to become really irritated. And more than 30 million people may have sleep apnea, though few are misdiagnosed. So let's discuss insomnia. Insomnia keeps people awake or sleeping fitfully. It can lead to daytime drowsiness, and it causes memory and cognitive issues. So short-term insomnia can be caused by stress or life changes. Chronic insomnia is when you experience at least 3 nights a week for at least 3 different months. So the symptoms of insomnia are difficult maintaining sleep, daytime sleepiness, and low energy. You have challenges with concentration, your focus and memory are affected. You have higher risk of oppression, anxiety, and you're very irritated. So about 50% of the US experience short-term insomnia. Now let's discuss narcolepsy. So people with narcolepsy experience excessive daytime sleepiness and have trouble regulating their sleep-wake cycles. So if you have narcolepsy, you may experience sleep attacks where you fall asleep for short periods unintentionally, despite fighting the urge to sleep. These sleep attacks may happen inappropriately or potentially dangerous times, often in the middle of daily activities like walking, eating, or even driving. Some of those symptoms include excessive daytime sleepiness, episodes of sleep attacks, difficulty staying awake, walking frequently throughout the night, hallucinations, sleep paralysis, sudden muscle weakness, or loss of muscle control. So if you think you have a sleep disorder, make sure you consult with your doctor right away to discuss the most common sleep disorders that we just reviewed. So how much sleep do you need? Most adults need 7 to 9 hours of sleep each night. Children and teens need even more. However, 1 in 3 adults don't get enough sleep. So addition to quantity, the quality of sleep you get is important. So tossing and turning in bed for 12 hours won't be as good for you as 7 uninterrupted hours of sleep. For instance, you might need more sleep if you're sick, pregnant, you're going through menopause. When you sleep, your brain processes all the information it's taken in throughout the day. So ideally, you want to go through multiple cycles of all 5 stages of sleep. So the stages start with feeling drowsy and advance through deeper sleep until you reach rapid eye movement, which is also known as REM sleep. So when your brain is most active and dreaming occurs, it's during the stages that your learning, your memory are affected. We're going to go over tips for better sleep. So your body naturally craves sleep, but it can be tough to get to bed on time. So here's how to get better sleep every night. Get to bed on time, setting an alarm, signaling your brain, and relax and unwind. So, although perhaps it could seem like a very daunting task to change your routine, these factors are going to build different settings within your body to be able to signal to your brain that it's an associate with a bedtime. So, for example, brushing your teeth, washing your face, set a daily alarm 1 hour before bedtime. There's apps on your phone that will assist you with putting you on sleeping mode. Relax and unwind, reclaim your calm by doing something that helps you unwind. For example, reading, taking a bath, journaling. Your relaxing pattern is very personal to you. So for example, for me, my relax and unwind routine is reading a book, making sure that I have my right teas before so my body feels relaxed. And this is my nighttime routine so that my body associates it with bedtime. So your sleeping habits can have a lasting effect on your overall health. So simply tweaking a few of your tech devices can upgrade your sleep hygiene for a better night's rest. So as discussed, some of these apps can help you with setting up alarms, setting on do not disturb, locking it, blocking it, setting and dimming it, and moving your tech devices can help build that pattern and routine for your sleep hygiene. So change your device as far as away from your bed as possible. Dim your screen. The bright blue light of devices can mess up your sleep routine. Set a bedtime alarm to remind you that it's time to wrap it up for a night. Turn off notifications by using the do not disturb feature on your phone. So let's discuss establishing a wake-up routine. I emphasize a little bit about my bedtime routine, but the wake-up routine is equally as important. Quantity counts. The foundation to a good morning starts with getting the right amount of sleep. So even adults need a solid 7 to 9 hours nightly. Yes, nightly. So make sure that you hit your bed at the right time the night before. Feeling the rhythm. Quantity is important, but timing also matters. Your body and brain work best with a set wake-up time to keep your biological rhythms synced. Don't vary your wake-up time too much. It can throw off your system from its natural routine. So for example, if you're someone who has a morning routine tied to your physical exercise, make sure that you keep it aligned so that you can feel refreshed when it's time to do those physical activities. Nightly recharge. If you think you can skim on a sleep for a few nights and make it up with a lazy day later, think again. Make sure you're getting a full charge of sleep every night for the next day. Although you think you can be fully recharged the days before or the days after, if you don't have a nightly sleep routine, it can affect it in the long term. So snoozing stinks. So turning on off your car and off isn't the best way to get it warmed up in the morning. I like to think that analogy of turning on your car tied to the analogy of you snoozing your alarm on and off. It's not the best. So make sure that if you're going to nod off for another restless 5 minutes, that you're reminding yourself that it may lead to you feeling more groggish, and when you wake up for the second time, it's going to affect your mood because you're still feeling like you're sleeping. So remind yourself that analogy of when you're hitting your snooze button, it's like turning on your car on and off, on and off, and on and off. So if you can, wake up to a bright, natural sunlight streaming through your window. Ideally, that would be one of the perfect morning routines. However, if you can't get the indoor lights, try to see if you can get some type of perhaps natural lights. If one factor won't lead to another, remember the glare on your cell phone screen isn't enough. the natural light for your morning routines really help you feeling refreshed, and opening up your phone and your eyes seeing the glare of the blue screen can also affect your mood. So make sure that you get moving. So instead of picking up your phone and checking your work emails, your personal emails, or your texts, make sure you skip that tech routine and establish it perhaps with a physical routine. So taking a morning walk to start the day, having good sleep and exercise go hand in hand. Moving your body will help you wake up in the morning and sleep better at night. Breaking your fast. So you've gone all night without eating, and some of the latest research shows that breakfast is still the most important meal of the day. So prepare your breakfast at night before you need to get ready. If you're someone who has a very tight schedule, perhaps you have to be at the door at a certain time, or you have children and you need to establish a routine with them as well. Having a nighttime prep for your breakfast so that you are ready to go and ensure that you get those meals in will help you with setting up that routine. Pep talks. If the day seems daunting, set aside a few minutes to get pumped. 10 minutes for meditation, yoga, or as mentioned, self-pep. For me, focusing on my mental well-being for 10 minutes really helps with stress or anxiety over the next 10 hours. So once you're ready to go and dive into the day, it's a good habit to tackle the hardest challenges first. So research shows that your brain is at a peak power at mid-morning. So that's the best time for a difficult task. However, if you get the big stuff out of the way, the rest of the day feels like a breeze. So good sleeping habits and an effective morning routine can help you wake up feeling energized and prepared for the day. So let's try to get these tips and techniques to start off your day this next starting morning. And I feel that once I established the wake-up routine, I was able to see a change very rapidly, and how my mood swings weren't as, I didn't feel as irritated. I was able to not always snooze my alarm. So one thing is, you have to remember that it's not an overnight sensation. Setting up a routine and sticking to your routine will help you out. So let's discuss, I feel, one misconception that binge sleeping is going to help you out. In essence, it doesn't. It doesn't work. So avoid sleeping on the weekends, or trying the thought that catching up on your sleep is going to balance out the lack of sleep you had the other days. You want to set up a discussed routine for each night. Don't drastically change your sleep pattern from weekday to weekend, or say that I can catch up on sleep. Binge sleeping has not been shown to help at all with your heart healthy habits. So it's best to get at least 7 hours of sleep each night, and to go to bed and wake up every time each day. So changing up your sleep routine, as discussed on the weekends, it's not good for your well-being and longevity. Let's discuss a little bit about taking a nap. So the benefits of napping is for your increased alertness. It's going to improve your attitude, improve your memory, help with your creative mindset, and it's a cash saver. So let's discuss the methods to napping smart. So when should you nap? Mid-afternoon is the best time, around 3 p.m. Don't nap too late, however, because then you'll be wide awake at night and spoil your bedtime routine. I'm sure a lot of you, like myself, have been in that habit where my nap times have stretched themselves out to about 4 hours. Remember to keep it short so that it doesn't affect your nighttime routine. So where should you nap? Find a cool, quiet place to have a quick doze. Maybe even in your car during your break, or perhaps in your in like a space where you feel comfortable and cool, where you can concentrate on falling asleep. And how long? Keep it 20 minutes, no longer than 30. in the middle, you don't want to wake up in the middle of deep sleep, or you'll even be more groggier than before. So remember, for taking a nap is sort of like snoozing your alarm. You don't want to continue to snooze your alarm, because then your mindset is going to keep you drowsy, and you're going to feel not as refreshed as you thought that the nap would help you feel. Well, don't eat too heavy meals before bed. While a light snack may be okay, a larger meal may trigger your acid reflexes. This goes tied in with the pattern we discussed for your habits. Is try to set up a time, perhaps even on your phone, to remind yourself to have your last meal per se. You know your schedule, you know how you can structure it in that you don't have a large meal beforehand, and that you sort of won't affect your nighttime routine. And the one we've discussed in other virtual health lessons: avoid consuming alcohol too close to bedtime. I know we've discussed in moderation, but if you could avoid alcohol, really set a goal for for yourself for the next couple of days, so that you can see how not having alcohol within your system, how it helps you improve your sleeping patterns. So let's discuss a little bit about sleeping better with healthy lifestyle habits. So increasing physical activity, finding a relaxing ritual, going low tech, balancing your calories, and eating heart healthy. Now, the physical activity goes hand in hand with your morning routine. So in the morning, if you're someone who really likes to exercise, try to get a rhythm. Of course, any exercise is better than none. So working out later in the day, if that works best for you, it's always better to have that movement in your body. Eating a healthy diet, so enjoy plenty of fiber-rich vegetables, fruits, whole grains, including nuts and fish. Minimize processed meats, refined carbohydrates, and sugary drinks. Avoid trans fats. I know the other virtual health lesson, we discussed how to cut down on sugary drinks. Try to add fruit to your water. The different habits can make it seem like you're not simply cutting something off. It just creates where your mind can see, this is something that's going to help me. And once you start feeling better, it's not going to be a drag or a check mark. It's going to be something that you feel is second nature to you. Eating saturated fat and sugar can help with improving your sleep, and eating more fiber is also going to help with sleep patterns as well. Now, I know we've discussed a little bit about calories and balancing it out throughout your day. That's something that when you get more calories late at night, your sleep is going to be a little bit less peaceful. So drinking too much sugary, caffeinated or alcohol beverages may make disruptions during the night. So one thing to keep in mind is that our body changes so much as we get older. So those dietary needs may change with age. So for example, if you're someone who is affected by caffeine, as you get older, you may need to reflect back on your patterns and perhaps cut the type of how many cups of coffee you have. So instead of having it midday, try to have it earlier in the day so it doesn't affect your mood when you're falling asleep. And these patterns, as discussed, will change as your body changes. Meditation or deep breathing or writing gratitude may also help you with sleeping better. For example, I'm someone who really likes lists. So when I'm stressed, I look at my calendar, I plan out what to get everything done. So it calms me down and I don't feel overwhelmed. So take a look how your late night habits may be affecting your sleep. So let's take a pulse check. We want to see what you've learned. So the first one, most adults need 6 to 8 hours of sleep each night. True or false? We have about 54, 62 participation. Give a couple of minutes. We're at 75 participation. Maybe we can get to 100. We're almost there. So the correct answer for this, most adults need 68 hours of sleep each night, is false. You need 7 to 9 of hours of sleep each night is the recommendation for most adults. The second question, will you commit to getting to bed on time? Yes, no, or maybe. We have about 75%, 83% participation. Thank you to everyone who answered. About 95% of you said yes, you will be committing to getting on bed on time. So thank you for sharing. Let's discuss the call to action. So sleep well for better heart health. Your call to action here is getting to bed on time, cleaning up your sleep hygiene, establishing a wake-up routine, have a regular sleep schedule, taking a nap, and engaging in a healthy lifestyle. I want to thank the American Heart Association team working behind the scenes who helped coordinate this program. A special thank you again to Providence, our local supporter in this important hypertension initiative in Southern California. Additionally, I'd like to invite you to our next virtual health lesson on January 9th. There's a link to register in the chat. I will send out the registration link via email. Thank you again for your participation and joining us today. We hope to see you at our social support circle next Tuesday. We will send up a follow-up email with the link to register for that as well. We would truly appreciate your feedback today about today's health topic. So please take a minute to complete a short survey that will appear when you close out of the Zoom. So thank you again and have a wonderful evening.